Hi, I'm rture, and in this video I'm going to take a look at a few coins in the Avalanche ecosystem. Of course I will chart Avax, but I will also chart Joe and PEFI. I'm taking a look at the Avalanche ecosystem because Avalanche announced a $180 million incentive program, which could bring in a lot of new developers into the ecosystem. It brings in Av and Curve, two of the biggest DeFi protocols that can kickstart another rally and a lot of development in that ecosystem. So let's start with the Avalanche chart. This is the Avax USDT chart, and we can identify on the chart where that announcement was made. It was made on the 18th of August in this green candle, and afterwards Avax had a rally up towards that previous all-time high where it found resistance, which often happens on a first try of breaking it, and it pulled back towards this support level around $39, and it found some support there. And what I want you to see is over here you can see that the volume increased hugely, so there's a lot of interest in the ecosystem, and on the way up a lot of Avax was bought. What can we expect in the next few days? Because I'm charting this on a daily chart, especially because this is a longer term play. The incentive program has to roll out and isn't released yet. Av and Curve aren't yet in the ecosystem, so they will come in later. I think at this moment this could be the dip you're looking for. You can see that it touched the 20 EMA, it touched the 39 support level. And I think with this green candle and maybe even with a next green candle, that is the momentum you want to see for trend continuation. And we can see that already because the stochastic RSI is crossing, and it crosses already, but we'll have to wait for the daily close for this to be a valid change in momentum. And the change in momentum is up because we see it bounce from this level. So what do you want to do if you want to take profit later in this trend? I think one of the best things to do is use a Fibonacci extension for that. You can draw it from the bottom, you can put it on the top and put it on the retracement, and it gives you a few targets for a move like this. So targets on Avax will be these Fibonacci levels, and I think it's nice to take some profit at every single one of these levels. So we have a level at 63, at 69, 77, and 87. I think this would be a good moment to see what's going on in the ecosystem. If it reaches that, that's where I think a big portion of your bags could be offloaded, and it's a good take profit moment because it gives you that 1-to-1 ratio. The next coin I'm looking at is Trader Joe. It's the exchange coin, and this is just in Avalanche based DeFi protocol. Trader Joe raises 5 million from 3 Arrow Capital and others. So there is another investor injecting capital in the Avalanche ecosystem, and specifically in Trader Joe. So that's something to be aware of. There are some big investors bullish on Joe, and we can see that in the chart. After Trader Joe had that insane run up, it pulled back together with Avax, and that's what you often see, that these coins in that ecosystem pull back with the ecosystem itself. It only pulls back further because I'm charting this on the Joe repped Avax pair to see if it can really outperform Avax, but especially because it's probably it's more illiquid and more volatile than the ecosystem token. But this chart can help you also get a good entry on a coin like this, even if you're trading from USD. Joe already had that bounce from that 0.5 Fibonacci level and is now currently at that all-time high. Of course, these bigger players don't buy in at top, so they probably accumulated somewhere here or accumulated on the way up. And of course, with this news, a lot of newer traders will pile in and try to buy this token. So in my opinion, you don't want to buy this resistance. You either want to buy a pullback into support and then hopefully this continues the trend, or you want to wait for a flip of that resistance into support and then a breakout into price discovery. Let's take a look at the last coin, Penguin Finance. It's also a DeFi protocol in the Avax ecosystem. They have a lot of farms, a lot of staking opportunities, and a launchpad will come soon. So I think with that launchpad launching and maybe the first projects using Penguin Finance as a starting point, I think this could turn into a good opportunity. And what we see in the charts is that, similar to Joe, PEFI had quite a big correction after the ecosystem topped for a moment, and it pulled back to some important Fibonacci levels. And what I want to see is that PEFI holds this 0.786 Fibonacci level, and basically also this horizontal support, and starts to move. And we can see that there is a small uptrend forming, but it really has to push through, and hopefully there will be some news that helps kickstart the rest of this uptrend. There are some resistances above on this pair. If we look at previous price action, you can put those support and resistances in the chart, and they line up almost exactly with this Fibonacci tool. So I think you can assume they would be resistance and maybe some take profit levels. But if the ecosystem keeps evolving and yield farming will be more important, I think PEFI will have another move. So that's also a little bit of advice there. If you really are interested longer term in the Avalanche ecosystem and you want to accumulate more, look at some farming opportunities, look at PEFI Finance and see if you can find a farm you like, but also keep an eye on this coin and keep an eye on how it reacts at these resistances on the way up. The first resistance is at $2, the second one at 2.5, then there is a resistance at $3, and then one again somewhere between 3.5 and 3.6. And I think if especially that last one breaks 3.6, we will go to that all-time high around 4.6. So there is a lot of potential, but these low cap coins can be quite volatile, so make sure you apply the correct risk management. Thank you for watching this video. This was my analysis on these three coins, Avax, Joe, and PEFI. Hopefully you learned something today. If you have any questions, please visit us at thebirbnest.com or visit us in Discord and ask the Birb Nest team for help. Have a good day and see you in the Birb Nest.